This is T-Shirt Joe from FastCustomShirts.com, and you're listening to the Timo and Harley Show.
Welcome to the Timo and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to the Timo and Harley Show. I am Timo. Over there is my partner in mind crime, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben Mecca-lecca-hi-mecca-hi-na. Oh, Harley. How the hell are you?
Hey, Timo. I'm doing pretty good, especially now after that intro.
Yeah. Well, I thought you'd like
nice.
my little zombie intro there for you.
Very nice, my friend.
Right. So Mr. Ben Harley, in the space-time continuum, and I know I over-explain this, but there are people who only listen once to our show, which is probably 98.7%.
That's right. Yeah.
They only dip their toes in this shit once. And that's about it.
Yeah.
Like, no, thanks. There's
not those guys.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, they're a little. I can hear their canes waving around and stuff like that. You know, but we do record this show and put it up about a week later. So in our world right now, as we're recording this, we're just a week out of Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And hope everyone had a very good Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I
Ben
did.
Harley, yeah, you know what? We
nice.
actually got turkey.
Yep.
And mashed potatoes, and I watch football and stuff, and that, I don't remember the last time it's happened. I think one time I made turkey pepperoni pizza on Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yeah. Well, we're always busy.
That's not too bad. Yeah, that's
always,
right.
Always busy.
Playing. Yep.
Yeah. And we did this year, but it was a day after. I'll get that here in a second. But
nice.
Yeah. So you did you get now? How many dinners did you have on Thanksgiving?
Just one actually.
Wow.
Tim. Usually I try to do a tour.
Yeah.
But this one was only.
You go door to door campaigning, you know?
Yeah, pretty
you guys
much.
okay in there? You guys need security or anything? Okay.
Yeah, you guys all right?
Yeah.
You need me to warm up some gravy or anything? Like, help with some stuffing?
If anybody ever comes to my house in a fez going, "Do you want me to warm up your gravy?" I'm going to close the door. I'm just
Run
gonna
the hills. Right.
Shay, kill. Shay's looking at me, fuck you, man. I don't know what the hell that even means. You know?
Yeah.
So
she's like, warm me up some gravy.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Well, it was a very good Thanksgiving. Now, again, once again, as I said last week, we are in the shopping season. And Mr. Ben Harley, I know that speaking of fezzes and stuff, I heard that there was a wrestling event that you actually just ran in. Messed stuff up and said, screw you guys. If we're not getting in the ring, you guys aren't going to have a decent and non-interrupted show. To the hell with you guys. So I heard that happen.
You know, yeah. So that was our thanks for all that we've done for PBW.
Yeah.
And our thanks for being the champs. I guess they scolded us and didn't bring us back on this card. So we brought ourselves back.
There you go. Well, you got to do that sometimes. Yes. So... And if they want you guys to get back on there, then they're going to have to just, let you in, without having to pummel people to get into the back door, right?
That's right. Well, we came in and made a statement.
Yeah.
We came in the front door. So, one thing I did.
That's when you know you're really not wanted.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of funny as I'm running in, I as I look back on this stuff, Timo, I get these certain flashes, and from this show, I do really remember, I'm running in and it's kind of exciting and I'm still kind of, this stuff's, kind of, I've been a fan for so long. It's hard, I know I've been doing it for a while too, but, I'm still looking at it from a fan's perspective. So as I'm running in, to do my job, to do my due diligence, right, Timo?
Yeah.
To stand up for us. I hear one kind of, not really muffled, but maybe from far away, I hear oh my God, as we're running in. And it just made me run that much faster, Timo, and just put that little, pep in my step. So it was funny. I just thought to myself, wow, this is fun. You know what I mean? Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, oh my God. And not in a good way, not like, so, it was fun. So, we came in there and we took care of some business.
Right.
But we're going to have to take care of some more business. These guys are called History in the Making, Timo.
There you
go. And the only history that's going to be made is the demise of these two nerds.
There you go.
So,
yeah.
How about that?
It's
going to be a season's beatings for
there
these
you
guys.
Go. There you go. There you go. So,
thank you for mentioning it.
Yeah. Well, we had the Fragile Porcelain Mice warming up for the Urge show on last.
That's great stuff. There,
last Friday. So this was at the Pageant in St. Louis. This place is huge. It's like I think it's 2,200
from. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the pictures from behind Sir Ian Baird's drum kit.
Mm-hmm.
From that view, that's pretty nice.
Yeah. It's a big joint, and the Urge is one of the. I don't know. I mean, the Urge has had a lot of commercial success in St. Louis. Now, we've had a lot of success too. Those guys, just by definition, are a little bit more of a commercial accessible band and stuff. But we've been friends with those guys for a long time, and they did little things for us along the way. Let me put it to you this way: like they were doing a interview on MTV, and one of them was wearing our T-shirt.
Wow!
They did a music video, and one of them was wearing one of our T-shirts. So they always would like kind of keep us out there. They always like said, "Hey, and that always like." I mean, they could come in and give me a wet willy and kick me in the nuts at the same time. And I was like, I still like it because you wore my shirt on MTV, So I can't really. I think they might have been doing it for that, so they could come and pick on us. We couldn't say anything, but they couldn't have. But the thing is that over the last decade, both bands have had very different paths they've went and stuff, and both bands have their own history in St. Louis. And a lot of people over all these years have been saying, when are you going to play at the Urge again? When are you going to play at the Urge again? And I don't know how much they've heard it, but I got to think at least some.
Sure.
So because we played together a lot before, and I think it's easier for people to go out once. But both bands are just headlining bands. I mean, we just don't. Yeah. It's just not. It's nothing personal. They do their thing, we do ours. Well,
exactly.
This just happened to come together behind the scenes, and it came together, and everybody in town. There was a buzz about it. Let's put it that way. There was a buzz about it, and then Logic, they played first, and we had played with them too. As a matter of fact, we caught up with them a little bit, and we were kind of reminding each other when we played together and stuff like that. And they haven't played around here for a long time too. I think two of them moved to California or something like that. So they came back in town and made good with that too. So it was just real good show, and everybody, the best part of it, it was sort of like a reunion. And by that, I mean, it was more fun. Everybody treated each other with the respect we've all earned over the years.
Okay. Yeah.
They've earned it. We've earned it, and everybody really was just great to each other, and it was fun.
Nice.
Not that I wouldn't expect any less out of a bunch of old friends, but you get together and it's business.
Yeah, man.
It's business, right. and you have to have an ego to be in entertainment, right, potentate? So,
yes, sir, you do. Yeah. I'm starting to get much more than one.
So, but
not being snooty,
right?
Not in a snooty way,
right? So, but I just like to thank the Urge. They were very, very hospitable.
That's great.
They anything that we asked for, to make the show good for us, they obliged and were very, very, very kind about it. We tried to do our best, to make it easy on them. It's not easy to have a bigger band open for you either.
No,
because then you got to, it's a lot easier to have some no name open. They're just happy to be there.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's like, we're happy to be here.
They're thanking you a lot. Yeah,
yeah. So, but it's a good time. Thanks to those guys, and
that's awesome. No, good.
Couldn't have gone better. Let's put it that way. Couldn't have gone better. So that's, and you stress about these shows. So
hell yeah.
when they go off good, then really you enjoy it the most the minute you get off stage. That's when you finally can enjoy everything. Like, finally,
this is true.
Yeah, so good times, and we got
good, buddy.
All right, Mr. Ben Harley, let's see here. I'm going to jump into stuff I watched here now.
Okay.
Again, I'm going to try to get through it fast, and it's just going to make the show twice as long. So I don't know how the hell we'll do this.
Sure.
But anyway. All right, let's see here. Let's get through a couple of the easiest ones first.
Sure.
Here's just a one little tidbit. I don't know if you saw this movie or not. It's kind of gotten forgotten with time. Not too bad, though. I'm kind of on a Sean Connery freak out.
freak out. I can't say freak out like Sean Connery.
It was a
freak out.
We were kind of. I was watching the 007 movies, and then
yeah.
You remember the movie from 1992 called Medicine Man?
I think so. Yeah.
With Sean Connery and Lorraine Bracco, and they're out like in the South American jungles, and they find a cure for cancer.
Yeah,
it's derived from this little plant that grows high up in the trees, but they can't replicate it. They don't know what's going on. I always liked that movie. So I ended up buying a stream of it on Amazon, and me and Angie sat down and watched it. You know, it's not too bad. It doesn't really have much of an ending. Kind of fizzles. Does it? But there's some real good moments between Sean Connery and between
Sean Connery.
Yeah. There's some very good moments, but Holly, but he found himself a plant that cures cancer. But God. But anyway, so it was okay to watch. It was directed by John McTiernan, who did Die Hard and Predator.
Oh,
so
wow. Okay.
I'm not sure if he got lost while doing Predator and then just stayed out there till a film crew came back and did Medicine Man. I'm not sure, but anyway,
maybe he found a cure for cancer.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. So moving on, Mr. Ben Harley. So that was 92. From 93, Angie and I sat down. Kind of brace yourself. This is a really. Uh-oh. We sat down and we just watched Jurassic Park.
Really?
Yeah, just original Jurassic Park.
That's okay, though.
Yeah.
They had a freak out, I think, was going on the other day. What was it? Part 3 was on.
Okay.
And I really don't remember much of it. I know I tried to watch some of it, and I said, I'm all right.
The second one to me is the one that I looked forward to because it starred Jeff Goldblum. Like, they brought his character back, the Lost World one. I got real excited about that, and I hated it. Oh, I hated it. It was terrible.
I wasn't a big fan. Yeah.
But the third one now, the one that you were singing, it's talking about, I did actually enjoy that one. Yeah, I enjoyed that one. Yeah. All right, well, moving on here, Mr. Ben Harley. Let's see here. Oh, from 2010. This is on Amazon Prime, by the way. This was sort of I don't say homage, but I did sit down and watch the documentary With Great Power, the Stan Lee story.
Okay.
So this was, again, 2010. So it was made when he was at the tender age of like 89 or something like that, So, it was okay. It's kind of a breezy, fluffy little cliff notes to his life and stuff. And you want to talk about a guy who is 100% and absolutely unrecognizable from a young guy to where he got to when he was about 45.
Really? Yeah.
Well, I'm like, they kept like saying, and Stan Lee did this, and they kept showing black and white pictures of somebody. I'm like, is that Stan Lee?
That's Stan Lee. Huh?
Well, I kind of realized, that's like a hairpiece or a toupee. I see. Not his hair. Understood. Got it now. I couldn't. And the glasses were different, and he grew the mustache and everything, So it was like he totally like morphed into someone else. Interesting. He actually kind of looked like, who was it? The guy that worked at the newspaper wasn't Spider-Man?
Clark or Peter Parker?
Well, no. Who was the?
J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, that's what he. Yeah, didn't Stan Lee kind of look like that guy a little bit?
He did. Now that you think about it, yes, yeah. Now that you mention it, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Right. So he started off kind of looking more like Peter Parker and started looking more like Mr. Jameson.
Or ended up like Jameson.
Yeah, right.
Nice. Right. I like that observation.
I always thought that. But it's a good little documentary, and if you're a Stan Lee fan and you're
I'm gonna have to look at that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. A little tribute to watch. That after his passing. Let's see. Moving on here, Mr. Ben Harley. I'm getting through these actually. Moving on. Here's one from 1931.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it was Dracula. Aha! Whoa! The Spanish version.
Oh,
now
well, how do you say that?
I say Spanish
Vampiro?
Dracula.
Oh, okay.
I say
El Vampiro?
No, in Spanish it's actually Dracula. Yeah, that's how you say it in Spanish. Yeah, I'll spell it for you.
That's not as much fun.
No. Espanol Dracula.
I like you. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So this was the movie that was, and you've probably heard this before. This was the movie that was shot at night on the same sets with the Bela Lugosi Dracula.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
because back then they really couldn't dub things or anything. So if they made a movie for a Spanish-speaking audience, they basically had to shoot it with different actors and stuff with the same script. Now, over the years, I kept hearing over and over again that this was superior. That this was like, man, you got to see this, because what they would do is Lugosi and Todd Browning and those guys, they would do their shots. They'd have their dailies. And the Spanish crew would watch the dailies and go, ha, we do better. So they were trying to top him. Now, so I've never really sat down and watched it before. I've had it.
Okay.
I just, having that internal struggle with the Dracula movie and everything.
Oh yeah.
I got to worry about the Lugosi thing before I get into this one. Well, I just watched the Lugosi one. And I thought this is starting to grow on me because I'm accepting what I like about the Lugosi one more. So
Sure.
I'm getting happy about that. So let's dig in and watch the Spanish version because it's supposed to be better. It's supposed to be better. So let's think. Well, it's a half hour longer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I'm going to tell you something here. There's some people that will just say shit like that to be snobby. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. Now, it was interesting to watch, but if it was better, it was because it was a funnier movie. Because you're making fun of it. Okay? The guy that plays Renfield. Now in Dwight Fry's Renfield, when they open up the door to the on the ship, when the ship rolls into London, and Renfield's at the bottom of the stairs, right? Going,
yeah.
You're just like, yeah, I don't ever want to see that looking down a stairway. I don't ever want to see that at all. Now, in the Spanish version, they open up the door and the guy's going, I'm like, oh my God. Wow. It's like this when the Simpsons have the Spanish TV show with the bumblebees.
Oh yeah.
And it's like way over the top.
Yeah.
That's what this is. It's not better. It's longer. There's some interesting things. Some of the action is a little more grandiose and stuff like that. It's not quite as stiff. Okay. But with that, you also get less stiff acting and stuff like that. And the characters are just off the wall. Way over the top. Way over the top. So if you like way over the top,
Spanish vampire
Spanish Dracula, no, it's not better. It's just not better. I mean, it's interesting to watch for curiosity.
Okay,
I'll put it to you that way. There are some things that are technically done better. I agree with that. Of course, because the other crew got in there and they sort of took the arrows for it. They were like, oh, that's how it works finally. And then the Spanish crew go, yeah, we can make it better. But that's that's not with the performances. It's not with the actual movie. And there's scenes that are mirroring each other because it's the same script. Yeah. They're making the same movie with a different director. The director was from the U.S. So he was an English speaking director. Directing a Spanish speaking cast. So that was pretty interesting too. Anyway, it was interesting to watch. It was funny, but it was way too long and the joke kind of got old by the end of it.
Yeah.
So but I couldn't just stop there, Mr. Ben Harley. So from 1945, Angio and I watched the last of the Universal movies that we had lined up. Finally, we got to House of Dracula. Yes, with John Carradine as Dracula, Glenn Strange as the monster. Yeah. This is the one with the hot hunchback nurse.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Chaney comes back as Lawrence Talbot and the Wolfman. And then who else? Lionel Atwill. He decided he was going to be the inspector in this movie.
Yeah.
So he was the inspector. So that guy, I'm telling you, man. If he would have played the Frankenstein monster, he would have been one of the greatest horror icons of all time because he would have played it every fucking time.
Right. Yeah.
So that was fun. It was fun. So now we are besides watching Abbott Costello Meet Frankenstein, which we've done many times. We've just went through all the canon Universal monster series. We didn't watch all the Invisible Man movies, but as the monster mashups, you know what I mean? Like we went through all and finally got through all those. Now, speaking of all this and sequels and Spanish Draculas and House of Dracula and all this, you went and saw the Halloween remake or reboot or whatever not too long ago. So we got to bitch about that for a little while. I'm sure people listening were either very put off by that, bored, or wanted to yell at us at the same time.
Yeah.
So I went and we popped this in just because I hadn't seen it in a little bit, and we were kind of talking about it. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay. 1988.
Yeah.
Now,
yes, sir.
I don't love this movie.
No.
What do you mean when you say it feels like Halloween? Do you mean the holiday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't mean it feels like the original movie. You mean it feels like
it feels more. I mean, I guess it might have its moments of the original, but no, I think it's no.
You feel the holiday,
more the spirit of Halloween. Yeah, which is I'm cool with, and I like that. But yeah. And that's mostly, I think, too, Timo, from the beginning, the way the intro to this film is, and it's all the still shots, not kind of Halloween stuff.
Right. Okay.
So
that's okay. That's fine. That's what I was wondering about, because I was like, that's one thing that took me out of it, because to really start off, and I know this is a very geeky technical thing, but this thing affects people and they don't realize it. The movie was shot in 1:8:5.
Yeah.
And the old movies were shot 2:3:5. So they were shot widescreen, giving it a little bit more of a classy feel, as opposed to like a made for TV or made for, DVD for or something like that. So Halloween 4 was shot in 1:8:5. I don't like that. Yeah. I think it takes some of the mood and it kind of breaks the feel of the series. Even Halloween 3 was shot wide.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about The Mask.
Ugh, yeah.
All right, so I watched this movie here thinking about you and thinking about The Mask. Okay.
Yeah.
Because here's what happened. When I sat down to watch the movie, I started thinking, I'm going to watch this so me and Ben got something good to talk about. He's going to dig it. He's going to sink his teeth into this one.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, the mask got burned in the first one. He shouldn't even have a mask. Like, wait a minute.
Right.
Where's the mask coming from? So, So as I'm watching the movie, I remembered.
He gets it in that little shop.
He gets it in that little shop. Now.
Yeah.
I do agree it's a silly ripoff of the first mask, but in fairness, it's supposed to be different because it's not the same mask.
Yeah.
I get you there. I think it looks so close to the first one that you can't help but to compare them and just say, ugh, God, from what I read or watched on a special feature or whatever, it was going to be a blonde mask.
What?
And, it was going to look less like. I think they wanted to say this is not the Michael Myers mask. They were going to, but when you stop and think about it, would it have been better if they got a different mask and started using it? I mean, would it have been better? I mean, just like Jason went from Baghead to. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answer to this, by the way. I don't know if it's better to use a mask that looks as silly as the one they use in that sequel.
That one. The problem I have with that one too is so bright white.
Yeah,
and it's just like is real thin and bright looking. I'm like, it's just, I have a problem with it. I have a problem with the size of Michael Myers a little bit too, and both 4 and 5.
Yeah,
they're so well. But
I wrote down here that there's a problem. The problem with Michael Myers is not only the mask, but yes, the gentleman playing him. I mean, because he has no neck. And Michael Myers had a long neck. I mean, he always had a neck sticking out. He was always a kind of not diminutive, the most average sized people you could think of.
Yeah.
I know
he wasn't a Hulk.
No, and I know Dick Warlock is a short guy, I know they filmed him not to be quite that short. But I'm just saying he was just an average size. That was part of what made him scary.
Yeah.
Is that he was that size, but he was so whack that he could just, pick people up and stab them through doors and stuff.
Yeah.
It's really not a good performance, though, of Michael Myers at all in that movie. Just terrible. Right. Now,
it's stiff, very stiff.
Yes. Now, our friend Danielle Harris, she's very good. She's very good in this, and that's a tough role for a little girl to play.
Yeah.
Was it Ellie Cornell? I guess her name is. She's not bad in it. So those things are okay. Yeah. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. Believe me, it's not.
I think Loomis is good in it. I think
he's
Loomis
okay.
is good in it.
He's okay.
They hand him some lines, but there's some lines in that movie that I really enjoy, and some scenes. One of my favorite scenes. There's two of my favorite scenes, believe it or not, from all of the Halloweens are in this movie, and one is when he's at the gas station, and Loomis goes and he's looking around, and he goes to the phone and he grabs the phone. And then he says, Michael, and actually, I think this is a cool part too. Now we're talking about the mask. When he turns around, his face is just bandaged like a mummy, which I thought was kind of cool too and off-putting.
Maybe they could have stuck with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been. That's what I'm
saying.
Okay with that.
That's what I'm saying. Yes,
bit.
yeah, okay.
But you couldn't really see that. I don't know.
Right.
But I like that part because Loomis turns around and they have a little talk. He says to him, why now and all that, and don't go there. Leave those people alone. And then he says, God damn you, and he shoots at him. And then the music starts. I like that scene. I think that, for me, mostly because I like Michael Myers, for me at that time period, I was like, this is good. I'm happy to see Michael Myers. But as we talked about before, it's because you got Loomis there. Loomis makes that scene more than Michael Myers, okay?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's what Loomis is saying and stuff. So I love that. I love that scene. It's still, to me, and it's also kind of Hitchcock shot, because they do the scene with the I don't even know how you call it, whatever you call it, the long view, zoom, and I like that too. So that also lends to it as well. I think I love that scene. Now that, for me, I'm not kicking part 3 by any means, but I'm just saying, for me, that was like much more intense than, you know what I'm saying? Because I liked Michael Myers. I didn't. You're right. The other one should just have been a standalone film.
I don't disagree with that. I just like it. I just like the movie.
I know.
So I got no problem, at all. But,
yeah. So, but
well, here's
there's some stuff in here. There's some really weird.
What's
I don't
missing?
Know
I figured it out. And it took me a little while to figure it out. And I might have missed it somewhere, but what's missing from the other 2 films that was so prevalent and so good and so creepy?
Music, or?
No, well, that's part of it. So the music was very uneven in part 4. They needed to stick with the original, just the music, and just take it. But so that hurt it a lot, actually. But what else?
I don't know, Timo.
The breathing.
Oh, yeah. Yep,
why did they let that go? Now, here's the thing.
I don't know.
It's hard to sneak up on somebody going, I mean, I get that. Okay, fine. But
it was mostly, though, when he attacks someone, or... You're right, though. They could have used it a little bit.
In the first one, it was just like the Jaws theme. I mean, if you heard that breathing, that's when you knew. And I missed it. I mean, but it's something you don't think about. It's almost like it's so cool in the first one, and then you just sort of... I don't know if you forget about it, or it just becomes a part of the character and you don't realize it's not there. Yeah. It's not happening anymore. And it made me think, how much did it happen in the second one? But I think it did happen a little bit in the second one, but that was something they should never have gotten away from. Right, now, let me ask you a question. Sure. In the reboot thing, did you notice or not notice breathing?
I think I did, but I don't really, I think it was more towards the end, though.
Because when I was a little kid, that was one of the things that I never forgot. That was one of the scariest things. Was the breathing.
At the end for me? Yeah, for me at the end it was because it got louder and louder, and you're still like, he's still there, he's still around, he's still there, he's still around, and it as it got louder to me, it got more intense at the end of that film. And you're right, it does stick with you.
Something to think about when you're watching these movies, and maybe
I'll go back and. Because I definitely want to see that new one again. We'll see. But one other thing too, I do got to mention about 4 is the ending of part 4. Also, too, I like the beer bellies, the guys that go around there like looking for Michael Myers, because the one
angry
guy
villagers,
and they shoot, was it Ted Hollister, wherever they go, and I don't know why I can never forget the name. Oh shit, Earl, you killed Ted Hollister, whatever, because they shoot up like I don't know, what is it, a gazebo or some kind of something. And now that's silly, but for me, that part was funny. But Timo, now the ending has the breathing in part 4. I don't know if you notice at the end when Jamie kills the stepmom or whatever, she's standing there and she's breathing, and it gets louder, and she's really, so if you get a chance, go back and look. Now, I don't know if they were just saving it for that, maybe. Well, see, I don't know.
Yeah, I hated that. I thought that was, to me, when she did that, I mean, you waited from the very first second for that to happen. Like, that was not a swerve to me. Like, when she was
No, not really. I saw it kind of.
Yeah.
No, really. See, I like that scene. I know it's, they were trying to. Now, I know it also upset. What did Donald Pleasant want them to go on as with her as the killer?
Well, that's what makes sense. You know, they also did that in the Friday the 13th series. They did that at the end of that part 5 where it wasn't Jason and it was Tommy Jarvis and he was in the hospital and then he puts a mask on. Well, I'm just saying they did the same thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I'm not saying to you, Barf.
Yeah. But they did the same thing and ignored it just like they did in Halloween. They just ignored it. Yeah. And it's like, and they just made her a little shook up in part 5. You know, we're going to go to part 5 next.
Well, that's where they were going with the whole druid thing and all that stuff. That's where I started. That's where it came off the rails. Now, the only reason it was a little bit more intense for me at the ending is because you know me, Tim, I'm a visual person. Yeah. And the fact that her wearing the same kind of clown outfit as him, the look of it, and plus having daughters, and at that time, my daughter, Caitlin, wasn't born yet, but then going back and seeing it was a little bit more intense for me watching it nowadays, having daughter, it's just an intense scene. And for me, that was kind of a home run for the ending. It was. I just thought they could have ended it right there and I'd have been done if they never would have done another Halloween movie again.
I could see that though too. That wouldn't
I'd have been happy as hell. Yeah. I would have been touchdown. And also, but more, okay, as much as I liked what I was seeing, okay? And then also, I don't know if you noticed, there's a little clown picture in the background in the room, which was kind of cool. And then you have Loomis is going to shoot her. Yeah. And for me, that gave me more chills than her standing there with the knife. I'm like, he's going to shoot. And he almost did. And then the cop comes, slaps it out of his hand. Yep. And he kind of creeps down to where he's crying. No. And for me, I know it's only about 15, 20 seconds, but for me, that made the whole film. I was like, that's because, you know me, Tim. In my artwork, I go for scenes in certain scenes in films that to me are shocking or have something going on. I'm trying to tell words with what I saw out of it. And that for me was one intense scene for me. It made the rest of the movie. I can go back and seriously go, I'm okay with some of it.
Well, look, here's it's. I think it's sort of it feels like a made for video movie a little bit.
A lot of those that came out at this time were.
It feels a little like they could have given this more of an A picture treatment. I think. I think it might have been a little bit.
I was surprised
better.
To tell you the truth, Timo. I was surprised that this actually came out.
I don't disagree with that. I went and
saw it. Yeah. I remember driving from there and just the time period and everything. It's just, I don't know. I was happy about that because at that time for me, a lot of horror was going a direction I wasn't happy with.
Sure.
So it felt like home for me in a way. Oh my God, finally, because at this time too, I wasn't real happy with all the Friday the 13th shit that was coming out and stuff. And I was hoping, and it was taking a weird direction for me. It was, there was that time period.
Yeah. By that time, I think we were getting, once he got past the 6th Friday the 13th, which was a good, entertaining film, but that's about all they could do with that lake and that camp and stuff. That was about it. They were done, and they did. The next one was the girl with the psychic abilities,
and that was good. I like that one too. Yeah,
but the story just started kind of going like haywire, or whatever. Yeah. So it was it was around that time, but here's the thing. I really never have. I just have always felt like it was a different series. The Halloween 4 actually started a different series. Now, it got stupid and silly, but it never insulted me like the Rob Zombie stuff because it never pretended to be the first one.
Right.
It always was saying, we're just a money-making sequel thing here. Now, the dumb sequels to H2O, I think people might not even, I'm not saying they don't know. Maybe something to think about, actually, is that H2O actually spawned its own kind of sequels. I think that Resurrection with was it Coolio or whatever, I think that was more of a sequel to H2O or whatever. And those I did not, actually the one with Coolio in it, I knew it would suck. So I didn't hate it as bad as the other ones because I was like, oh, it was shot in film?
Really bad. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was going to be shot on tape. I didn't know, so.
Right.
But did I like him? No. Yeah. I was kind of grabbing at straws here. And I always thought that putting Jamie Lee Curtis in there was a bad idea. Yeah. Because there's you're just telegraphing, this is the one. She's, when people are always like, Jamie won't be. Jamie's been in like what 4 of these movies now, or 5, 5, I think. Yeah. So it's not like she's really hidden well from the series. Okay.
Right.
It's just, I'm sure it's just about a matter of money. And it would be for me too, by the way, but I'm just saying, that's the thing with me. But you know what? I'm an old angry cane waver. But, and again, and then we're going to go, I think next we'll get to Halloween 5 because it does kind of end the story. It does kind of, in that little 2 movie. Yeah. No, I know. I saw the 6th one in the theater. And was just like, it's over. It's way over. It's been over. Yep. This movie doesn't even make sense. Yeah. Well, what you got, Mr. Ben Harley? That's what I got.
Nothing. Not a damn thing.
I don't believe you. I just think I blew a fuse talking about Halloween 4 with you. It's very, I'm sure you're very conflicted with that film. So,
but that's okay, buddy. Well, since we talked a lot on that, I just have a couple things here, buddy. We'll talk. One thing I do have to mention, buddy, a good friend of mine came into town. One of my best friends growing up came into town, and he's from Milwaukee. A good friend of mine, firefighter, and we were lucky enough we went. I haven't seen him in a couple of years, but we went to the Toledo Walleye game here recently.
Is his name Squiggy?
No, actually, it's Snorky.
Oh, Snorky. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, those Milwaukee guys. I'm just saying. I didn't know if it was Squiggy, Lenny,
but that was fun. Yeah, that was from the back in the day. Luckily, he didn't end up. His dad used to call him Bug Eye, so luckily he didn't end up with that one. So, So
I'm sure he didn't give himself that name. Yeah.
No. Right. But one of my favorite people on the planet. And it was funny. He came in and we went to the game, Wendy and I and him and his son and nephews. We had a bunch of us, so it was a lot of fun. One of the best games I've seen down there. Had a really good time. A lot of drama, Timo. And fights.
I hope on the ice, not in the stands.
Yes. A little in the stands, not too much. Not too much. Gotcha. But the funny thing is we went to afterwards. We went to a little bar called Fleetwood's. And they had an old dome hockey. I don't know if you know what those are. The old hockey games, like the rod hockey, knob hockey.
We used to call it stick hockey.
Yes.
But I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I was actually very good at those games, believe it or not.
Yes. And it was funny. They had one, and it was kind of cool. They had the Toledo Walleye versus the dreaded Fort Wayne Comets on there.
Oh, boy.
And so we watched the people play a little bit. And then Snork and I used to be really pretty good playing that game together. And growing up, he was telling the story. He's like, it was bred into us because we used to play a lot with my older brother and those guys when we had our own, we had our own at home, not the dome hockey, but we had the Coleco version. And we played a lot of that stuff, and you might get your ass kicked after you beat someone who was about 6 years older than you too at the time when you're 10 and 11 years old. So, right. But he was laughing. He's like, he was telling his girlfriend, you don't understand this. It was bred into us. So we went over there and I put my quarter down, and I think we ended up beating 5 teams of people. And he and I had not played since 1988, Timo. There you go. So, but it was fun. I've never really had that experience. We've played it tons of times, but going into a place like you would going into a pool hall. Good thing we didn't get any fights or nothing, we didn't bet. But it was kind of funny. He said, I think we came in a little too hot. We should have came in, lost a game or two, and then ran the table.
Oh, yeah.
But, Timo, I just wanted to mention that night, mention my buddy Snork. We had a great time. His older brother is the reason I went to the art school that I went to. His older brother went to the same art school probably 7 years or more before I did. But it was one of those nights we just had such a good time. And everything pretty much goes well. It was one of those times in your life things. So I wanted to mention that.
Nice. And
also mention, my friend Rob, because I respect him greatly. He's a firefighter in Milwaukee, so good time. It was a great, great time. Let's see here. Okay. Last but not least, Timo. Yes. We have another documentary. I won't speak too much on this because it deals with politics, and I don't want to be that guy in the room.
Right.
But I did start watching also the Clinton affair. They've had a show. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like a 3-part little documentary. It's not little. Wah, wah, wah.
Is it the Lewinsky thing?
Yeah, but it touches on. Oh, here, man, this is gonna be hard to get through this without making too many puns. Yes, it talks about. And this is I already thought about this one, which is going to be another pun, and I'm sorry, but I did not know it went as deep as it did.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The conspiracy, Timo, or the affair. I'm sorry, not. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Bill?
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, I've been watching that. Wow. But I did enjoy. The one thing that I did enjoy is when they first started talking about this, the Linda Tripp thing, when she kind of ratted out Lewinsky. She called the one lady and said, "Yep, I have something on the big creep," and of course that lady knew exactly who she was talking about. And she said, "Oh yeah, it's a 21-year-old intern this time." Like, oh shit! But it goes through a lot of different things, and I know this is not horror, but a lot of the stuff that went on in these shows to me is horrible. It's just like horrible. And what scares me, I guess, about the whole thing, the Clinton thing, is this stuff was going on. What was this guy doing? Was he working at any time or point in time in his presidency? And you're doing this. Okay, Timo, this is what separates me from Bill Clinton. Okay.
All right.
I would be physically ill if I was in the same building as a whole bunch of people that I knew and I was carrying on like this. I would be physically ill if I was to do that. These things that are alleged, but to do that and keep these things going, and people knew like you didn't know what was going on, or you thought people didn't know what was going on, and people were helping initiate these things. It's just like, what is, man. For me, it's solid. I mean, okay, we're talking about the flipping government, but it sullies the whole thing. Like, wow, wow.
Kind of.
And I'm not trying to be. I'm not partial. I'm not being partial either way, because
no, I know
you had lots of rotten things going on both ways.
Right.
But the main story is just like
just
gross.
Yeah,
just gross. Gross. And it's horrifying, some of the things. And for me, like I said, I'm not trying to be funny as far as like the whole, but I did not know it. I can't even say these words. I can't say now about a rabbit hole. I can't say it just, and we knew a lot about the stuff, Timo, that came out when we were younger. This came out when we were, I mean, I'm done. It
came out all over a dress from what I heard.
Yeah, a blue dress that she kept.
Yeah. I think, you know what? I think that a lesson should be learned by politicians on both sides of the aisle is that when you get so obsessed with the person who is your political enemy, you kind of lose sight of what the fuck you're doing in the first place, and you get mired up in this thing. And meanwhile, the public is out there. And I think to a certain extent, we're in danger of this happening again.
Yes.
That the public you get so mired up in something that is maybe a technical foul.
Yeah.
That the public is just like, seriously, man? I mean, like, you think we're going to accept overturning an entire election over a blowjob?
Yeah.
I mean, are we really going to overturn an entire election because one guy had lunch with someone who spoke half Russian once? I mean, are we really, or are we just going to go, there's enough things going on in politics that are real that nobody wants to expose because it exposes all of them.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. So I think that, I kind of am interested in seeing that. What did you see that on? I'm going to write this down because if you won't say things, and I want to see it.
Yeah, it's on.
What channel?
I do believe it's on A&E, Timo.
I got some A&E on my Sling television here, so I'm going to go.
Yeah,
I'm going to watch
almost
that.
done.
Devil
with
in the Blue Dress.
episode.
It's called, right? Or Deviled Eggs in a Blue Dress. Is that what it was?
No, no, it's just the Clinton affair. The Clinton affair.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm over here red in the face.
That's fine. You walked into all this stuff.
I couldn't. I know. Everywhere I went, every direction.
You need to just go through those stacks of discs that you've had for years.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, pull out the alligator people or something. Get something going on. Now you know why every week I'm like, I watched House of Dracula. Why?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to hear about Bill Clinton. Look, it's a mouthful. Okay, I don't want to hear about it. Yeah. So
I do have some stuff on deck though. Yeah, in the back, I'm gonna get to some Howling. I gotta finish up Rodan, so I will report back with some more.
All right.
Fun things, but with the holidays hitting, I wasn't down here as much which was great. That was the best holiday gift I've had in a while.
Right.
It was 4 days off work, so yeah.
I thought you were going to say with the holidays, I wanted to watch some of these feel-good documentaries. Well, maybe the Clinton one was a feel-good one, but it might have felt good to him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sure it did. Yeah. Smarmy bastard.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
So, there's no way to be mature and talk about that, right? I mean, you can't do it. I mean, it's hard for me to be mature anyway. I have the maturity of a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
God
bless you.
Well, all right, let's get to our official films. Let's go in chronological order. I've been doing pretty good doing that. So let's see. From 1959, we have the Vincent Price movie, directed by William Castle.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to say this because I think you're gonna back me on this one. Just to hear the actors and their voice inflections say the name of this is kind of funny through the film. But we have the film, The Tingler.
Tingler.
The Tingler.
The Tingler.
Here comes the Tingler. Now, was the Tingler mentioned in the Clinton affair?
I think there was one where they met in the closet behind the bookshelf. And he gave her the Tingler.
He gave her the presidential Tingler.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, they tried to subpoena the Tingler, but it couldn't reach for comment.
But you can't rein in the Tingler. You just you can't stop it. You can only hope to contain it.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Let me get you real short.
Yeah.
I'm saying short now. You're going to give a real small. Okay. Here comes the storyline synopsis. Let's get out movie guy.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, one second. One second. There we go. An obsessed pathologist discovers and captures a parasitic creature that grows when fear grips its host. Oh, yeah. I like that one.
There it is. Yeah, that's easy enough.
Like that. There are some blurbs. There are some blurbs on the poster or cover.
Good.
I think, and I don't do this very often anymore because it got to be a little out of hand. But this is a pretty good one here. Ready?
Okay.
All right. When the screen screams, you'll scream too. If you value your life.
When I do value my life. That blurb was longer than the synopsis.
It was. So this was actually shot in the. Now you didn't need 3D glasses for this, but it was Percepto.
Okay. Ooh,
and they actually called it this newest and most startling gimmick on the screen. That's what they said in the poster art. They actually just said it's a gimmick. So this is a famous film, of course, where
putting this. Under the seats.
They put the buzzers under a few seats in the theaters and some of the bigger theaters and stuff like that, and called it Percepto. And actually, I have seen the people who actually installed these things. I've seen interviews with them, and people were saying, people screamed. They actually screamed and stuff. It was fun. It worked. The gimmick worked basically.
Yeah.
Let's see. Vincent.
It's kind of cool. Actually, it's in a weird way. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody liked the Tingler a little bit,
I'm not going back.
Keep ringing the bell.
Don't pull me back to the Clinton affair because it's going to be hard not to.
I'm sure Bill Clinton saw this in the theater.
I don't know if he saw it or not, but
he got tingled.
Yeah. So again, Vincent Price. Yeah, he's a doctor or a pathologist here, and there's a guy who is on death row. Mm-hmm. And his brother-in-law, I guess, is there to witness the execution. And then, you know how it is with, protocol and stuff with the medical community. Yeah. He just simply strolls in with Vincent Price and watches him give him an autopsy.
Yeah. And then ask for a ride home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So these guys are going to be buddies over a corpse. I mean, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
So
no sandwich involved, though, was it?
No. Well, anyway, so Vincent Price inexplicably figures out that if you get really, really, really spooked out, you can't scream. A worm grows on your back and crushes your spine. Look, Go ahead.
Yeah, because was the guy that he gives a ride home to? Yeah, his newfound friend.
Yeah,
owns like
Ollie.
a movie theater. Yeah, and I thought you would have liked this movie theater.
Yes,
this is right up your alley. They showed like silent films, I think. Right?
And I've actually seen a documentary about those movie theaters in LA where they still show the old silent films and stuff. Yeah. Absolutely.
Boy, Timo, but you'd be right, man.
Oh, me and Ollie could have been. I would have given Ollie a ride home.
Yeah, you would.
I could have gotten. I could have gotten messed up in this scheme.
Yeah,
really, when you think about it,
yeah, because you would have come in when he offered to, you want to come see the movie. You'd have went in,
right? I might have been
got caught up.
It might have been an autopsy on a radio I was doing. Maybe not a human, but yeah, I could have gotten caught up in this. Yeah.
So yeah, Ollie has a wife who is, and they're not very nice about this. She's deaf, dumb, and she's not blind. She's a mute. Right. She's deaf and dumb.
Right.
And when after the nice ride home, Vincent Price character meets his wife or whatever, and he accidentally cuts his hand. Right. And she sees the blood and goes into like a shock, big time shock, not just faints, but like into shock.
Right.
And then that's how they kind of figure out about the Tingler, right? That's where he wonders why she's so paralyzed with fear.
Yeah, he sees her arch back. He sees something physical happen because she can't release her
scream,
her fear mechanism. Her release mechanism for the fear. So he figures something's got to be going on. So he starts kind of experimenting around. Now, here's the thing. So you're right. So this all happens, and Vincent Price finds that that's intriguing, goes back to his house and talks to his wife. And let me tell you something, Ben Harley. There ain't nothing better than a Vincent Price who don't get along with his wife. We have seen this in House on Haunted Hill. And there's only three things I remember about House on Haunted Hill. One's a skeleton. Always remember that. The other one is the really spooky lady with the bad look on her face that's just standing there going, which would scare a fly off a turd. I'm telling you right now. And then there was the fact that Vincent Price spent the movie with just the most brilliant bickering going on between him and his wife, and it was about as mean and cutthroat and cantankerous as it can get. Well, ladies and gentlemen, William Castle and Vincent Price strike once again. So he gives Vincent Price a wife who, man, when they're arguing, you don't like neither one of them two. You know, it's
but
like,
it's very,
I love it.
Very, it's good stuff in the film.
Is.
Like, because he catches her, she's outside. Like, well, first she tries to sneak in the house, but she's outside smooching on some guy. Yeah, and when he watches, it comes in. He says that was a very touching scene out there. Right. She don't care. Right. So from that point on, you're like, oh, this is on. And then too, there's some good tension put in the film by them. I think. Yeah, it just works because you don't trust either of them.
What does he actually say to her? You are an evil woman.
Woman,
something like you're a heartless evil woman, and she doesn't even argue with it. So, I guess they have something on each other. Like she has money and he needs it for his research, and I guess she kind of murdered her father or something. And he's like, she's like, you don't have any evidence. He's like, well, you don't want me to find any, do you? Stuff. So I love that. That is great, and it's really what makes House on Haunted Hill have legs. It helps this. Now this doesn't need it, but boy, it helps. It really puts this one over the top. So he actually he takes her and he fools her into thinking he's going to shoot her. So basically what he's doing, he's just scaring her to the point where she passes out, and then he takes a bunch of x-rays on her back. And then that's when they start finding the actual Tingler. They start, I think they start taking x-rays and start seeing the dang thing. What's interesting is Ollie's wife, Judith Evelyn is her name. Her name's Martha in the film. Yeah. She plays Miss Lonely Hearts in Rear Window.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah. So she's like one of the ladies in the window that Jimmy Stewart's looking at and stuff. And then Philip Coolidge, he plays Ollie. Here's another Hitchcock thing for you. He was in North by Northwest. He was Dr. Cross. Was he? Yeah, and you've seen that guy a lot. Too. You've seen that guy in different things. Yeah. You've probably seen him on your rope operas every other day, probably.
Yeah. He's good in this too. He's pretty good in it.
Right. So anyway, the plot goes on, and there is an obvious issue that's going to happen here between Vincent Price and Ollie and the wife. Because the wife is clearly a drag on Ollie because she's deaf, she's dumb, she's got a germ phobia. She's what us fellas back, 20, 30 years ago used to call high maintenance.
Yeah. Yeah, she is a little.
Yeah, that might be edited out of a television show at this point saying that. But yes, she is what is known as high maintenance. And I hate to tell the people out there in the world, they exist.
Yes.
They exist. Yes. A high maintenance woman exists, believe me. So it's clear that something's going to happen. They do a pretty good job of mashing up his henpeckness versus Vincent Price's obsession to figure the Tingler out.
Yeah.
So something's funny's going to happen to her, but you don't exactly know who or how it's going to go down and stuff like that. So the moment arrives where
you're going to scare the hell out of her.
Yeah, she is clearly being scared the hell out of, right? And she's clearly being scared the hell out of.
Did you notice though? I didn't know Jason Voorhees was going to make an appearance in the film.
The face guy? Yeah.
Well, she wakes up. She thinks she hears something. And she goes over to where Ollie's bed would be, I guess, and she pulls the covers back.
Yeah,
and it looks. I thought it was.
Yeah,
Jason Voorhees at first.
Yep.
But I think he has a stick or something. I don't think he had a machete, but yeah.
They had an axe
now that
for a
was
while.
scared the Tingler right out of me. Right there, yeah.
Or you had a hatchet for a while. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because then she goes into another room.
Mm-hmm.
And she or like maybe the living room, and then like a door opens, and then like a werewolf hand throws a hatchet at her.
Right.
And I was like, wow, look out, and then she goes into the bathroom, and this was kind of cool because this is a black and white film. Right. So she looks in the sink's like dripping red blood. Right. And it's red and everything else is black and white. And I like that. I like that trick. I know it's simple, whatever I get. Well, I say it's simple.
Yeah.
But I think it was cool. I love that.
Yeah, that's a really great scene. That's actually a really great scene.
I was hoping for, since they were a werewolf and Jason Voorhees, we might get a creature from the Black Lagoon or something.
Right.
In the bathtub. But no, we got some blood in the bathtub and a bloody hand came out, which was pretty intense for that time.
Absolutely. That was a spooky scene. That was a really great, well put together scene. Yeah.
Yeah. So
now here's the thing.
She gets scared to death, right? It's just scared.
Yeah, she does get scared to death. Now they're also, which is an interesting little side of note, I guess, about this is the first LSD trip on film. And if Vincent Price didn't have a bad trip, I don't know what the hell a bad trip is.
Oh man.
I told Angie, I was like, listen, I'm not gonna say anything but this. I played my rock and roll music for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I know a little something about an acid trip, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they gave Vincent Price. What the hell that was. But it was about as accurate as Reefer Madness. We'll put it that way to you or whatever. But they do use it he uses it to try to instill fear into himself.
Yeah.
In order to get this going. Now, when Ollie now this is where things you start raising the people's eyebrow. You start going, what kind of nefarious thing is going on here? Because instead of calling the police, Ollie brings his, I guess, dead wife, or he doesn't know she's dead. Here's the thing. She feels her moving, but he thinks she's dead. So he brings her to a pathologist?
Yeah.
So why not a gynecologist? I don't know. So he brings them there, and which that right away just starts giving you red flags right there. Wait a minute. Anyway, so Vincent Price ends up getting out his trusty little scalpel, and he pulls out a Tingler. Which
sure did. Now,
okay, let's stop right there. So he pulls now. Admittedly, this movie is wall-to-wall full of hilarious pseudoscience, okay?
Yeah.
And the Tingler is about as frightening as a box of kittens. Looks like a caterpillar who went bald. Okay?
Yeah. It's got some pincher on the front, though. Big old pincher on the front.
Right. Now, getting back to your Bill Clinton documentary, I did find it humorous when the line was uttered, "Let's celebrate finding the Tingler." Between him and his wife.
Yeah.
His wife says, let's celebrate finding the Tingler.
And I thought, he's going to show her a Tingler, all right. So it's going to happen.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that was so set up, too. That I was like,
I know.
wait a second.
There had to be a lot of goofy shit going on with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, this movie, like, it's admittedly... Okay, well, I'll kind of cliff notes throughout. I'll say, once he releases a Tingler from the wife, the Tingler kind of gets on people's nerves, I guess. It finds its way around town a little bit. Yeah, like down in the movie theater, and it finds its way around the house. It tries to choke out Vincent Price. And Vincent Price does a pretty good pantomime job, though. Of making that thing look like it's moving. He does a lot better job than Bela Lugosi does in Bride of the Monster. But so we got a little Tingler. And really, honestly, the movie, it's called The Tingler, but there's so many different things going on, and there's a lot of psychological horror going on in this between the husbands and wives, and both of them. Yeah. Between Ollie and his wife, and between Vincent Price and his wife, there's a lot of good psychological just shit going on. And the Tingler is kind of like the MacGuffin, I guess. It's kind of like oh, that's right, this movie's called The Tingler. Not the arguer.
Yeah, now there's like a movie inside this movie, too.
Yes,
right?
there is,
like,
yes.
Now that one was interesting too. It started to take me away. Like there's a fight scene, like, and I don't know if it's like Yukon Moose Cholak against some little guy. And I got caught up into that, and then that's when the Tingler got loose in the movie theater,
right?
And I was like, "Go back to the movie. What just happened?" I'm thinking, "Wow, really?"
Well,
but you know what? What I did really kind of like though is. I kind of knew a little bit of the backstory on this, and I mean, it does take a rocket scientist to think.
Oh, so you haven't seen this before?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but I was like, I'd heard about it and stuff, and then I was like, I'm interested to see when they do the things. When the lights went out and stuff. The screen goes blank or whatever,
right,
and like all that. And that stuff's fun to me. Now, I'm
going to interrupt just for the audience. Yeah. When there's a part where the Tingler gets loose in the theater in the movie
theater.
So what they do is that's where the ballyhoo kind of starts. That's where the screen goes blank, and Vincent Price is basically speaking to the real audience who is sitting in the theater, saying, "The Tingler is loose in the theater. Scream! And stuff." And so,
a lady fainted, but she's okay.
Right. So that's the part where the projectionist would hit the buzzer thing, and all the seats would buzz. A few seats in the audience, so a few people would scream. That's what that's what Harley was talking about here. So yes, there is some ballyhoo there at the end.
And it's fun for me because I know we try to do this because we watch a lot of older films and things, and we try to put ourselves in that time period of when these films came out, because I think it does. It means something because times change, and these aren't going to mean the same as they did. So for me, I thought it was funny. I'm like, oh, here we go. Here's the Tingler, like I almost zapped myself, Timo, because I thought, man, is there anything I can shock myself with over here?
Get a 9-volt and run it across your tongue.
Turn the light, turn the lights off or something. Run into the heat press, whatever, something. But, so I enjoy it, Timo. Now, as much as the Tingler left me unenthused.
I don't know how the hell they did that. I don't know how the hell they did those effects. I can tell you right now.
Yeah.
It's like magician shit,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Sleight of hand, my friend. Oh, but yes, I did enjoy that part too. Okay, I get it. And I mean, it makes it dated. It does, but still, what the hell? Go for it. But you know what I'm saying? So
look, it's very campy. Okay, but it's really well written and it's really well performed. I mean, it's I did see an interview with the young lady, Pamela Lincoln, I guess, and the actress in the film who plays Lucy. And she she actually married her boyfriend in that movie again.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So we can have a real marriage freak out on some of these movies too. But she said that like they all were like, "What is this? What are we doing?" And apparently, when they went on set, Vincent Price was just like, "Look, we're getting paid. This is serious."
Yeah.
Like Vincent Price was like, "No, if we make fun of this and do this, it's not going to work. It's already a goofy kind of story. We have to play it straight." And that's what makes those movies. I've said it. We've talked about it ad nauseum in the show when we're watching, like, let's say an asylum film. or something like that. What makes the old movies work is when they played them straight.
Yeah.
Attack of the Crab Monsters. Oh my God. But they played it straight.
Yeah.
Which makes it more funny. It makes it more entertaining to do that. And they do that here. But also, this movie's really gained a following. I remember I had never seen it, and it aired. It was either on 100% Weird on TNT or Joe Bob Briggs' show. When Joe Bob Briggs had a couple of like cable station shows or whatever. Who, by the way, that's a good little segue.
Hey, there you go.
That we're going to see Mr. Joe Bob Briggs at the Retro Invasion show in Cleveland.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're gonna have Joe, the promoter of that show, on the show at some point, and I think there might be a potentate of hate. We also know there's gonna be a Danny Hicks.
Yeah,
so
there's gonna be a lot of sightings.
That's right, absolutely. So anyway, reeling it back in there.
That was good though, Timo.
Yeah.
Nice work.
So I saw it for the first time. I'd say I was about 20.
Okay.
So that was the first time, and I remember being really impressed. Like, God, this is, and I was like, why haven't I seen this one?
Right.
Why haven't I seen this one? But, some of these studios, they didn't push their movies, or maybe they didn't see the value in them. Maybe they didn't see the value in the film without a buzzer in your seat.
That's true, too.
And I think that what's really cool about Today, we always bitch about Today, and I miss my member berries. I got to eat my member berries, Yeah. What's really cool about Today is that we have the ability to distribute these old films in a way that people get to see them in very good quality, with a lot of documentaries and special features to educate people on what this movie was like back then. I love that. Yeah. And I think having this movie out on Blu-ray, to me, I would never have, 20 years ago, I would have never have thought I would have just seen that in high definition and it being perfect and everything. So I really enjoy this movie. I think it's got really good creepy moments and really good funny silly moments. And the Tingler is silly, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't really affect the frightening aspects of the film because the Tingler parts aren't frightening. The Tingler parts are the ballyhoo parts. Yeah. The Tingler parts are there to turn the lights off and buzz the seats. Yep. But it's really the relationships between Vincent Price and Ollie with their wives that are like the psychological horror, which will jump right into our next official film, actually. Because it's, when you think about it, we have a 50s drive-in versus a over-budgeted grindhouse version of a same icky kind of thing going on. So, but anyway, sticking with the Tingler right now.
Yes.
So I'm going to give the movie The Tingler a big, great bape up. I really enjoy it. I think it holds up great for a 1959 matinee drive-in kind of ballyhoo movie. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to give it a mild, not a mild, I'm sorry, regular grape paper, but sorry, just a regular. I enjoyed it. I thought it was okay. The Tingler left a little to be desired.
You weren't saying that back in the 90s.
No. Some of the girls, I think some of my girlfriends kept me around for the Tingler. That's about it. About the only reason. So, wasn't for my bag of hockey equipment. I did enjoy the characters though in this film. There's not a lot of them, and the ones that were in it, I thought helped the film. Right. And didn't take away from it and stuff. So, and there's a little bit of smarmy stuff going on all around everybody, and I liked that too.
Well, so it's a really well.
You really don't know. You don't know.
It's really well written and well acted. It's just when you get to the Tingler, you pretty much got a salami with mushrooms for feet. So it kind of takes you out of it. Feet too. But Harley, how many times have we watched? I mean, all of these old 50s monster movies, and that's really what they all are. They're goofy, silly monsters, but a really fun story. And a really fun little movie, and the stuff that we love from like the 70s and 80s. I mean, well, what were those directors growing up on?
Right.
So this is what
the Tingler.
I was brought up on the Tingler. I'm moving on to the next movie. I'm done talking about the Tingler because I can't segue from Bill Clinton to the Tingler anymore, and it's not going to get any easier with the next movie.
No, it's not, my friend.
So next up, Mr. Ben Harley, this is a DVD Bob Super Special.
Super special.
Super
all right.
special. Not just a regular DVD bomb special.
This
is a super special. It looks kind of blue on the outside of it. Kind of covers. The blue is cover. I don't know if what you got was that, but that's what I got. I got something like that. I got that. Okay. Yeah. Very, very good looking transfer of the film. The film is called Night Warning, also known as Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker.
Yes.
1981? 1981. Yes. Let's get out
that year.
I do. Let's get out movie guy and get you a short storyline synopsis here for Night Warning. Which actually, Night Warning is the original title. I'm going to go through the title thing here in a minute. Okay. So here we go. Here comes movie guy. Here we go. An orphan teenager finds himself being dominated by his aunt, who's hell-bent on keeping him with her at all costs.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She sure is.
So what we get here is Susan Terrell, who is just a eccentric actress to begin with. I mean, this woman, and if you don't know the name when you see her, you'll know exactly who she is. And so she is the. I'm going to go straight here. She is the aunt, whatever. Of Billy, played by Jimmy McNichol, otherwise known as what's the Christy McNichol's older brother?
Timo, that's funny because, and I did not know this, but throughout the whole film, and I meant to go back and look, I'm like, is that Christy McNichol's brother? Because it looked like her through half the film.
Same haircut,
and I'm
too.
I'm not trying to dog because I had a crush on me some Christy McNichol.
Oh, who didn't, man? Are you kidding me?
Man.
I mean, who didn't? Seriously. You know?
Right.
Liberace had a crush on her, and he was way too old for her and didn't like ladies.
And didn't like the ladies, no.
Yeah, there's a rule about Krista McNichol. If you don't like her, you're not human. Right.
So, but yeah, that's funny. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on you, Timo, but
Well, the only thing I was going to add was that he was riding a badass moped. That's all I really need to know. Badass moped, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
We got a Bo Svensson as a jackass jerky cop.
Yeah,
don't like him at all. Well, anyway, so okay, Billy is being cared for by his aunt because his parents got killed in a suspicious car crash. Look, they're not really hiding what's going on here. Susan Terrell is just insane, and she's got a icky, and we're kind of on an icky incest freak out. I don't like that a whole lot, but we are running into icky incest. So she's clearly has this incestual lust for her, quote, nephew, we'll put it that way. And so apparently she needs a man. She needs a Tingler.
Yeah, she's looking for a Tingler.
She's looking for Bill Clinton. Okay. So where else do you look for a Bill Clinton but calling a TV repair guy? She calls a TV repair guy, and then she tries to seduce him. I mean, I guess she's subtle about it.
Yeah, a little bit.
She basically pulls her titties out and sticks his face and fuck me, you know. Well, he won't have none of it. He doesn't want to do anything. And so she freaks out and starts stabbing him to death. Yeah. And then Billy comes in and he's freaked out. So, okay.
Yeah, she says that he raped her.
Yeah, he's trying to. Yes, he keeps. She's claiming the TV repair guy tried to rape her while she's got a knife in his neck, basically. And so the cops come, and of course we got Bo Svensson as Jerky McJerkington cop.
Oh, he is jerk, man. Yeah. He does that well.
He does, and he don't believe nothing that's going on. Okay. Nope. So then we get to introduce some more characters, and some of these are pretty interesting. One of them, Billy's girlfriend. I'm going to talk about her for a second. That is Julia Duffy.
Okay.
Otherwise known as Stephanie from the show Newhart. She was Peter Scolari's wife. Ben Harley, I got a lovely wife I was sitting there watching this movie with, and I looked right over her. I said, I do believe that is Julie Duffy. And I'm going to tell you right now, I had a mad crush on that woman. I'm telling you right now, I really, 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 really found her handsome. We put that
Yeah.
way. So we had
She
that.
fills up a screen. Yeah,
She she fills. I'm done with the Tingler Bill Clinton stuff. Okay, and then did you notice who the bully in the film was?
The bully.
Eddie.
Fudge. No. Dang, Tim.
Wow. Didn't notice who that was? Remember the guy that he got into? Now, okay. I'll steer you into it. Yeah, I'll steer you into it. So he gets into so Billy and Eddie, they basically recreate Bela Lugosi's noodly yoga fight from the Devil Bat. Over each other.
The lunch ladies are even out there watching it.
Yeah. You didn't notice? You really didn't notice who Eddie was?
Tell Tim, I'm sorry, but
Bill Paxton.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! No.
Yeah.
That's
Bill
bad
Paxton.
on my part.
Yeah.
That's really bad on my part.
I'm
buddy.
disappointed in Harley. All right, that's enough for this week,
too.
folks. I'm
I quit.
disappointed in Ben
I'm
Harley.
going
Till next week, if I even decide to talk to Harley anymore. No, that was Bill Paxton. Yep, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was the bully that kept picking on. I don't know how you pick on the basketball star at a school, though. I mean, I never
true too.
really good for your social standing. It doesn't really help.
No.
I mean,
No,
but anyway. So there's a bit of the cast. But it's an icky, just and like here's the other thing too. So Bo Svenson, he's not buying the story.
No.
So you're thinking, well, Bo Svenson's a smart cop. No, he's a homophobic, racist cop. That's what he is.
Very.
As soon as he finds out there's a gay person, like even near the situation, he calls everyone gay, and the gay people did it.
Yeah.
This is like. I've never seen something that was more homophobic and homoerotic at the same time as this film. I don't know where it was going. I'm like, and I'm not sensitive to showing the world as it is, but this movie is over the top. I'm like,
it's
and
he
even asked Susan Terrell if she liked ladies before he knew.
Yeah.
Before he knew that there was any homosexual involved, he was asking if there was any homosexuals involved.
Where's the homos at?
No, I mean, but the script itself was like, she was like, "No, are you sick?" Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know if it'd be sick or. I mean, maybe to see her with another woman might be, for my viewing pleasure, might be going into that realm. But I'm just saying, like, it just felt a little uncomfortable to me, and it almost felt like somebody had an issue. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway.
Yeah.
So it's there.
It's glaring.
It's glaring. Yeah. You can't help it. I'm going to set you off with this though, Mr. Ben Harley.
Okay. This
movie could almost be a prequel to Psycho.
Yeah.
A little bit. Now we talked. I bitched about Mick Garris last week and did say that he did Psycho for the beginning, which. It's got moments like this. It's sort of like with Henry Thomas and actually, So
there's some really icky parts.
Yes, and then so you feel where I'm coming with this. This feels almost like a big budget for a grindhouse film.
Yeah.
So like a big budget grindhouse prequel to Psycho.
Yeah.
Would you buy that? Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff that's closely related, especially with, like you said, that the what was it, Psycho 4?
Yeah, Psycho 4 the beginning. Only because of the ickiness going on. So would you agree?
Yeah, for sure. And there is too. It's like, because at first you're thinking, well, she just kept this kid because she wanted the kid. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then it's like as he grows older and stuff, she's really attached to him, and then the whole thing with she wants a man stuff, and then and then she starts to like put that on him type stuff, and then not wanting him to leave, and then when they're in the room, like the bedroom, the one time he's like in the bed, whatever, and she's like talking crazy stuff, and it's just really weird, man. Like I don't know, there's some creepy stuff. And this is all before she really goes bonkers. Really, you know what I mean? And boy, does she go bonkers. She snaps.
Oh, yeah. Do you think she might slightly be unhinged?
Oh, yeah, she's unhinged. Yeah. Because he wants to go away. Like you said, he's a basketball star. Yeah. So he was going for a scholarship, and then there's going to be some people from the college.
Yeah, there'll be some
see him
scouts
play.
there. Yeah,
Yeah, scouts. And so she drugs him.
Yeah, so he can't play.
Drugs
good.
him before the game. Yeah. And you're like, wow, this is, So
I was kind of waiting for him to turn into a Teen Wolf. That would have taken care of everything, though. Would have taken care of everything.
Oh, yeah, he had a slam dunk, and he got the scholarship.
Right, absolutely. A groggy werewolf,
3-pointers from everywhere.
Right, yeah.
So
now his coach, was partners with the TV repair guy.
Yes,
that Susan Terrell kills. So the cop,
that's
constantly all over the basketball squad and the coach. And I think he makes the coach resign. It's just a really like nasty, and nasty isn't mean. Yeah, homophobic movie. I really believe that. I was kind of watching this going. Sometimes you watch these movies and they're trying to make you sympathize for these characters, or try to identify with them, to say, just because he's gay. And that didn't feel like this in this movie. No. It felt like this was the norm. Like, you shouldn't be around any kids if you're gay. Well, that's like like saying you shouldn't be a male teacher and be around any girls or coach volleyball. I mean, is there a possibility of something? There's always a possibility of something. We're humans. There's tinglers. There's tinglers afoot. But you can't automatically assume that.
No, you can't, Timo. But like I said, they just go so far over and above in this to point that out. And then Bo Svensson's character, when everything kind of unravels and finds out like the true story, snaps. And I found that quite kind of off the charts a little bit. But
I think something too that I'm assuming you haven't seen this before. This is not a super available movie. Here's the problem. The problem is that when it was out on VHS, it was called Night Warning. Okay. And I knew the film as Butcher Baker title. Nightmare Maker.
Yeah.
That's what I knew it as a kid. I don't know, reading Fangoria or whatever it was. I knew there was a film out there called Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker I had not seen. So I go to my local video store, and this movie Night Warning was sitting on the shelf forever, and it's just two kids running with eyeballs. With sky eyeballs looking down on them, and it's called Night Warning. And it's like, well, that just looks like a guy with a gun chasing people around the woods. I'm like, okay, I'm not. That's not really. I want a horror movie, So it really was like kind of bad advertising. But when I finally realized what it was, I was like, doink. I'm like, geez, Now this movie it's not something you watch a lot. It's a psychological horror film. It's a slow burn. But I'm telling you right now, the finale of this film is heavily influenced by the first Friday the 13th movie. Mm-hmm. Heavily influenced, with the crazy woman running around and just very. And she kind of goes unstoppable slasher there for a little bit.
She does,
which is cool. It kind of gets you're like, and she doesn't need a mask.
No.
She doesn't need a mask.
No, she got a good-looking hairdo going.
Oh, my God, can she look crazy?
Oh, man. I don't want to say a hatchet face, but towards the end she did.
Well, here's what's... No, okay. Now, come here. Let's not let anybody hear this, okay? But come here.
Okay.
No, we're closer to 50 than not, right? So we can't be too far away from this gal's... we can't be too far away from Susan Terrell's age at this point.
Yeah.
I had an uncomfortable thing where I was going back and forth going... Yeah, she's okay. She's all right. My God. Jeez, get out of here. I mean, did you have those moments at all? I mean, like, she went kind of erotic in a way sometimes, and then she goes full on, get my Tingler away.
Yeah, she does. When she comes off the rails at the end is insane, But it's good,
She has nice little acting touches, like she does these weird things, like to make it even ickier with the kid, like licking his neck. That just came out of her, and stuff, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah, and then she has like the friends of hers that kind of are like her come there, and then like the one lady gets kind of caught up in it, and you feel like creeped out for her because she's like, what the hell is going on? Right. And she's sneaking around trying to get out of the house and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And that was pretty tense scenes. Yeah.
It's got a good finale. It's got a real good because it's not the movie to me is very good. It's if you want to like have an exhilarating horror experience, it's not. It's more like a Baby Jane type of horror film where it's more of a slow burn, as you like Descent into Madness. Although I think her descent had happened way before the cameras rolled.
Yeah, when she cut the brakes on that car.
Right, exactly. So
at the beginning.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, but it's what's nice about this one is instead of getting just one thing, a lot of times the Descent into Madness films have one crescendo. They have one ha, I killed you. Aha, it's over. No, this one descends into I'm going to kill the cast and show 50-year-old corpses of other people I might have killed. I don't know. All just jumbled up there in the back end. So I'm going to give this movie I'm going to give it a solid grape ape up. I like it. Okay, and I liked it when I finally did see it on VHS when I had rented everything else 3 times. At my favorite video store, I finally grabbed this and took it and saw it. And I'm not even sure I realized it was Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker when I saw it then. I just realized we had a pretty decent, worthwhile seeing movie here.
Sure.
Much better than the cover would suggest, basically. And I think it holds up pretty well as far as icky factor.
It does.
Both Fence, it's pretty good in it. It's a jackass.
Yeah.
Pretty good. And the acting is pretty good.
He's not nice to anybody in the film.
No, not even this cop who's actually smarter than he is, his cop partner guy.
Yeah, he is not nice to anybody.
No. So I'm going to grape ape up for this movie as well. What are you going to do, Mr. Ben Harley?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a grape ape up too, Timo. I think I might enjoy it. The transfer is okay. So that was kind of,
Well, you probably got a different. Did you get a DVD of it?
Okay.
Yeah,
it's blurry,
Yes, that's a VHS transfer, basically. Yeah.
But I think if I just saw maybe a better transfer, I might enjoyed it just a touch more.
Okay.
And that's for me. That's just for me.
Mm-hmm.
My pleasantries or whatever.
Right.
So
well, you did not have the DVD Bob Super Special. I did, and I will make sure and have Bob get with you on that because it looks great. It looks.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah, it looks pretty. It's a very, very good transfer.
Okay.
And everything. So, but I could see what you're saying because I had only seen it VHS before I just watched it last night. Actually, before I just watched it again. So I'd only seen a VHS version of it too. So I feel you on that. I definitely feel you. So, all right, Ben Harley.
It's a good movie, though.
Yeah, it is. It is good. I wish they would have kept the title Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker.
Yeah, that too. That night warning, because I was thinking, I was like, what the hell? That doesn't even make sense with this film.
Right, I know. And it's actually technically 81, but it was released February of 82. So, but they call it 81. I don't know why. I don't understand these things, Ben Harley. I just live in the world. I don't make up the rules.
Yeah.
I tend to ignore those rules, actually, most of the time.
I think that title's too long. Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker. That's probably why they ended up. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
That's the only reason I could think.
Well, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's also
Night Warning sucks.
It does. Might have had something to do too with. I believe it was based off of a book called Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker or Nightmare Maker. Maybe there might have been a legal snafu
Nightmare
or something.
Maker might have been good. Too.
That was one of the titles. Also, Nightmare Maker was one of the.
That's fine. I think.
Right. There was basically 3 titles for it: Night Warning, Butcher Baker, Nightmare Maker, and then Nightmare Maker.
And just Nightmare Maker. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
I'm on board.
They kept giving it titles to get through the UK censors board. They kept upping it. Like, here, try this one. No, it doesn't pass.
How's this taste?
Yeah, how's this one? And they just kept changing the name, hoping it would get through. But no, it stayed a video nasty. So Anyway, all right, Mr. Ben Harley, let's get the hell out of here. We're way long and all that. So I don't know exactly what we're doing next week, but we're getting closer to Christmas. Yes, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Yes. So
Christmas.
Until next week, Mr. Ben Harley, stay spooky, and we'll talk to you then.
Keep it creepy, people.
You've been listening to the Timo and Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com, your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.